Welcome into Paul Catalina's Top 5, brought to you by Flag and Anthem. Check them out. Link in the bio. Also, check out our new website, 365sportsdeals.com. Everything you see advertised on the show is on there. Oh, will be eventually if it's not already. Deals every single day, 365sportsdeals.com. Top 5 takeaways from Greg Sankey. Spoke on Monday at the SEC meetings in Destin. He said a lot of things that garner some controversy. So I'm going to translate, work through some things, and maybe throw some darts at most honorable Premier Sankey. Number 5, he said that people in the room, which are the SEC presidents, say, why are they still in the NCAA? This is the question that every conference has to ask. And really, what the NCAA is good at is putting on the championships. It's pretty much what their function should be. Maybe academic standards and clearinghouse or something like that. But ultimately, when it comes to rules enforcement and everything else, they've kind of shown that they don't know what they're doing and have no ability to do it in any kind of effective way. So it's a great question. This is actually one of the ones that he stated that I actually agree. Like, why are they still in the NCAA? Something new needs to happen. But when he says it, it does scare people to think, like, is the SEC just going to be in charge of everything? Who knows? We'll see. Number 4, I don't need lectures. He was very mad at what he called a coordinated press release from the ACC and the Big 12. Now, the Big 12 and Clark Williams were quick to point out that they actually had no formal press release. It was just a comment made from Brett Yormark to reporters that day. Now, Jim Phillips did release a statement, but again, was not coordinated. It just sounded the same because they both said that this was not necessarily the best thing for their conference, but it was the best thing for college football. What Greg Sankey said is, I don't need lectures on it. I'm keenly aware of what's best for college football and kind of told everybody it's not my job to worry about it, even though it kind of should be in a perfect ethical world, right? His job is to get the best deal for the SEC at any cost. But that's that last part. At any cost is what makes it insidious, because you don't want to do something at any cost, because eventually that cost will hurt you. The more the SEC and the Big Ten try to chomp up, it might be better for them financially and in the short term, but in the long term, it's bad for college athletics as a whole if we're told as a viewing public that the schools that we went to either have to get in this league or they're less relevant. Over and over and over again. And when you completely alienate, which is most of the country, for television, it's going to be bad ultimately. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered, and you don't want to be that hog that gets slaughtered. Sometimes you have to give a little in the short term to gain more in the long term. Greg Sankey is basically saying, I don't need lectures. We've heard from many people who know Greg Sankey. He has not yet deemed us worthy to speak to him. So I don't know, from the horse's mouth if he would ever even answer the direct questions from us about how he feels about the good of overall college athletics based on his words or his actions. His action says that he don't. His words, sure. And maybe he does have some understanding of that. But also, I think there's a little bit more to this. He's the one who gets the most heat. Tony Petitti does not say a word, and he's really the one behind this automatic qualifier thing, which we'll get to in a second. I think Greg Sankey is saying at least a little bit here, hey, can you guys give Petitti some of this smoke? Because I'm not walking through this alone. I'm just the one who's not afraid of microphones. Number 3, pick your poison on formats. So he said a couple things that were a little bit opposite. Like he did say that, based on the current format, winning as many games is the most important thing, but he also said that he would like to continue to schedule competitive non-conference games. So in the AQ format, they would continue to schedule those. But in the 5+11 format for 16, it's unlikely that they would continue to do that. Not only that, if you go the 5+11 route, hey, they're going to get 4 every year, and maybe it stops there. But in most years, they could get 5 to 6 in the 5+11. Personally, I would just take the 5+11, deal with their 5 people a year that they would normally get and move on, as opposed to, running the risk of putting any one of the 16 worst teams, or not 16 best teams, in the playoffs, personally. And I think automatic qualifiers are dumb and don't make it a proper playoff. They make it an invitational. But he's saying pick your poison. Either way, the SEC is going to win, and we're not going to do what you want us to do. We're going to do what we think is best for us. Number 2.
Founded in 1910, Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Made to the highest standards, our products won't let you down. We give you the confidence to get out there and explore. Inspired by the past, devoted to the present, and built to inspire a multi-generational future, Samsonite is here to elevate your journey. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. Samsonite.
The SEC is unlikely to give anything back. He also said there are people in the room that said we've given away too much. Now, I know that somebody could tell me what the SEC has given away, and maybe they have a good point. But from where I'm standing on the outside looking in, and I see the SEC's continued domination of the entire college sports landscape now, I have to question, what have you given up? I mean, it would be like Jeff Bezos coming to be like, listen, I could have bought 3 islands, but I only bought 2. Like, okay, you still have 2 islands. Why should I feel sad you didn't get the 3rd? I mean, was Alexander the Great like this? Or Genghis Khan? Were they that annoying?
Probably.
Genghis Khan was terrible, but was he like, hey, you know what? If not for that little rocky patch of land over there, I'd have all this, but I don't like that. So they can keep it, even though there's no one there. I don't understand. And yes, I did just compare Greg Sankey to Alexander the Great and Genghis Khan. Number 1, the conference presidents in the SEC don't care about the non-SEC teams. Garrett, do you understand this meme?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And I love it.
Yes, the theme song would be They Not Like Us. That is what it is. They're not us. They're not like us. We don't need to worry about them. So the message they're giving Greg Sankey, and this is where I get a little bit on Greg Sankey's side. I think he does understand that everything he does is not necessarily for the greater good of college football. But when he walks into the room with those 16 presidents, they tell them that's exactly what we're paying you to do. And he does it so well. So what he's saying is like, look, you guys can ask me all these questions, you can do that. And he's not going to throw his bosses under the bus. But he answers to 16 of them. 16 of the most powerful college presidents in the country. And they all want the SEC front and center, and it does not matter at what cost. That is his job. That is what he's been hired to do. And anything short of that is not his job. So, Greg Sankey is telling us, this is my job. I'm going this way, and I have the direction to go this way, and there are no stops on this train. It only ends with what we want. Now, that's bad for pretty much the rest of college athletics, but it's what 16 people in a room pretty much tell Greg Sankey every time he walks in there. So, again, he's very powerful and controls a lot of college football, but there are 16 people that give him his marching orders. That's going to do it for this top 5. Smokey has Andrew's polls. Smokey, please regale the people with some data.